So Toisus, da mikvah pocket or chaburi michbor. So if it's pocket, mipkad pocket, therefore it's not the malacha of chibura, which is shchita, and or is it chibura because of the it's part of the blood of the body, and therefore it's a chabura. When you take out the blood. So time with the chabura. Why is the chabura chayiv? It's not like Rashi says. So why does Rashi say that you're chayiv? The parish prepared shmona shratzim. It's in Shabbos. The chayiv for chabura mishum tzovea. So you have that you are coloring the ore. You're coloring the skin. Gabi the 8 shratzim. The Tanya hasam nitzeru hadam. So what you have if you injure, you bruise a sheretz. So then the blood clots near the skin, and it's like the blood is dyeing the skin from the underside. Afal pisha lo yetze, even though it doesn't come out, so there's no netilas of the dam. So you create the bruise. You chayev for shchita, you chayev for chabura because it's soveh. Kasha to read the beli treifus, the shmaita the ria. So when we're learning about lungs, Tanya v'shar shkotzim. So we have the 8 sharotzim. So all the other ones, so they have skin and they have all sorts of things that are different to the other sharotzim. So the shar sharotzim v'ramoshim ad sheyetze mehem dam, that you're potter for causing bruises, but you're a potter until the dam comes out. The hashta hasam maitzovea ika. What is the malacha when you do actually come to take out the dam? If you cut open a sheretz, that's not one of the 8, so therefore why you chayev for tzovea? Ha leis lehu or, they don't have skin. The hachinami my tzovea ika b'hachabura. And here, and also in our case with the woman, why are you, what tzovea is? How are you trying to color in or dye the woman here? You don't want to. You're not looking to dye her skin. You don't want her to have red skin. What's going on here? Now the Tosfos Rosh, the hakanami b'hachabura might sevia shchaychaba. So he's asking the same question as Tosfos. But afilu shchicha sevia kedei leharos shehi basula. So what about the coloring that you want to see that she's a basula? Al yedei shehasidanim or bashrot soveim that she is coloring red the sheets, or her skin is reddened because of the blood, midam. So there is a sovea. So therefore, since I want that, so again, what exactly is Tosfos' question? Why is Tosfos saying, I don't want sovea? You do want sovea because you want the blood. Imkain mali dama imachli pocket or chiburu michbor. The whole din of the Gemara has nothing to do with this. If the whole malacha is soveya, so therefore even if it's mechul pocket, you still chayav for soveya, and kol shekain if it's a chabura. So where's the patur of mechul pocket if you're looking to stain the sheets? Because even if it's pocket, since you want to stain the sheets, so therefore you chayav. So v'chein gabi chabura de mila. So we also have, for Mila, it's a Chabura. He's going to see later that you need a heter on Shabbos for Mila. And this is the reason that Rabbi Shimon holds that Mekalkel, the Chabura, is Chayiv on Shabbos, because otherwise, why would you need a heter on Shabbos for Mila? Because Mila, you're like destroying the skin. You're cutting stuff away. So you're makalkel the boy or the skin, and therefore you don't need a heter. The Torah says that as davka the Mila is mutter on Shabbos. So therefore we see that chabura is makalkel. So then the Rabbi Yehuda who holds the makalkel is potter on Shabbos. So then he'll say, no, that it's a tikkun, it's not a makalka. That the mila is a tikkun of the boy, it's not a makalka. So what are you trying to? You're chayav for the shechita, but why? What are you trying to dye the skin of the blood of the child? What's going on here? So it's not severe. V'od al korcha l'shmul ikatayma achrina the perach gadol l'shmul for sure doesn't learn Tzaviyah because he says kamar d'shoichet l'chayv mishum Tzaviyah ela mishum netilas neshama. So Shmuel is saying that the whole chiyuv of shchita is netilas neshama. Al matayma d'chapura have mishum netilas neshama. So that's kind of the conclusion of the Ri. Kedika amar Shmuel Hasan. So Shmuel says that it's netilas neshama. For Rav to amar Hasan mishum Tzaviyah. So Rav, that he says there that it's because it's Tzaveya, af mishum Tzaveya ka'amar. So Rav is, so over there's Machlokes Rav and Shmuel. Shmuel says it's in Tilis Shama, and Rav is saying that it is become mishum Tzaveya. Now Tzaveya is only on Shechita. Tzaveya is only once you actually open up the bruise, but to make a bruise, to make the bruise without the Shechita, so therefore it's not Tzaveya. But when you have the Shechita, so therefore Rav says that it's also Tzaveya. For the Netilas Shama, so what is Netilas Shama that the Ri is now saying that it is, that this is the reason of the malacha? Netilas Shama ein lefaresh the time of misham chachasha. So don't tell me the reason of Netilas Shama because of weakening. You're weakening the person. Shemachlisho. You're weakening by taking out some of the blood. You weaken the person. V'noitel katzas neshamto. Because you're taking some of his neshama, therefore he's a weaker person. Don't tell me that's the reason you're chayav. The hacha ein sarech lechalishos haisha. You're not trying to. So again, since I don't want to weaken the woman, therefore by making a chobura, I would then be potter from this malacha because this malacha is an tzricha legufa. Since the goof of the malacha of netilas neshama is weakening the person, so therefore if I do shechita or I punch someone, I don't like the guy sitting beside me in shul, so I punch him and I create a bruise. So there, I want to weaken him. That's why I'm doing it. So therefore, the malacha is the goof of the malacha. By me taking his neshama or cutting him and taking some of his neshama out, I weaken him. That's what I want. But here with the woman, since I'm taking her blood out and I don't want to weaken her, therefore, the goof of the malacha is not taking blood out. This is a malacha shein tzricha legufa. The blood coming out is not the goof of the malacha, because if the goof of the malacha was to take the blood out, because then that'll weaken her. So then good. This is I'm chayiv. But since I don't want the weakening of the woman, ein tzarech lachalishas ha'isha. Therefore, this is the malacha shein tzricha legufa. Since the goof of the malacha, if netilas shama is in order to weaken the person, if the goof of the malacha is to machlisha to weaken the person. So then, again, because he's saying, don't tell me this is the reason, because by the woman I don't want to weaken her, and therefore I wouldn't be chayiv because this is malacha shein tzricha legufa. Umihu Israel dekamar haka ika lemeimer to have it rabbanan. So now he's saying, well, it may be our whole gemara taka is malacha shein tzricha legufa. I'm taking out her blood. I don't need her blood because I don't need her. To be weak. So therefore. It's a malacha shein tzricha legufa, and Rabbi Shimon, who we posken like, it's potter of a loser. So it's aser, but it's something also to rabbanon. You're not chayiv achatos. You're not chayiv d'oraisa, but it's potter of a loser. Therefore, it's a issur to rabbanon. Maybe that's the case here. So Tosfos is saying that you can't tell me it's netilas shama because netilas shama doesn't work here because don't tell me that's the reason to weaken her because here you don't want to weaken her. Therefore, here some why saying it's also only because of the rabbanon. Maybe you could say that here v'gabe mila mastradike is surah deraisa. So that taking out the blood, removing the blood, is an issur deraisa, even though it's malacha shein tzricha legufa. But it's dam. The Amrin and Beperak Rabbi Eliezer, they're talking about mila. Hi umna. That umna is the guy, is the moihel that's doing the mila. The law mites, he doesn't suck out the blood. Sakana who? It's a sakana for the baby. So you have to suck out the blood after the mila, after you do the removal of the orla, you have to suck out the blood because it's a sakana. And you remove that moil who doesn't do the law mites, who doesn't suck out the blood. Now today some people don't do mitzvah, and they think it might be there could be issues with either the moel chas v'chalila having some type of blood issue or some type of disease that could be transmitted, or vice versa with the child. so a lot of people don't do it. But here, our level of infection could be different from back then, and this sakana there would be different to sakana now, as we use things like alcohol and other. They only started using whatever it's called, the alcohol thing we use in infectants, disinfectants. They only started using disinfectant like 100 years ago. So it could be with our disinfectants that we don't have a sakana, and therefore we don't have to. Oh look, I found a Tosfot that says you shouldn't have a job. Doesn't necessarily apply. But in the Gemara, we're just saying the Gemara, it says that if the moel doesn't do meats, then it's a sakana for the child, and we remove that moel from his job. The Gemara says pshita, so it's pshita that he has to do meats. Medika machal and Shabbos aleya. So since we machal Shabbos in this act of mitzvah, of sucking at the blood, is mechal Shabbos. So therefore, it's obvious that he has to do it, because if it wasn't a sakana, then why we mechal Shabbos? So mahu detema dam makbe paket. So you'll think that the blood is when you're doing the mitzvah, it's mutter to do because it's not a chabura. So therefore, kamash malan the chabura, that it is a chabura. So therefore, we learn from here that that this is a din deraisa. He's taking out the meats. He's sucking the blood out of the child. Now, does he want the blood? He doesn't need the blood. So therefore, taking the blood out of the body is a melacha shein tzricha lagufa. Since it's a melacha shein tzricha lagufa, therefore it should be potter. But here we say it's a deraisa. So it's deraisa because we're machal Shabbos on it. Since how we machal Shabbos on sucking out the blood, therefore sucking out the blood has to be. That sucking out the blood is a malacha deraisa because we're machal Shabbos. Because if it's melacha shein tzricha lagufa, it's not called machal Shabbos. So why we call it what? We see that we're machal Shabbos on it. So ve'ihave mishum chalasha leika chilul Shabbos, because if the whole point of taking out the blood is to weaken the person, there's no chilul Shabbos here. Because I don't want to weaken the friend. Because I don't want to weaken the baby. So you do the mites of the blood. You're only chayav deraisa if you do the tzura of the malacha, and the tzura malacha is to weaken the person. So therefore, I don't want to weaken the person. I'm taking the blood out for other reasons. So I'm taking the blood out in order to make the baby healthy, and therefore it's not the guf of the malacha, which is to waken the person. Therefore, it's not the guf, and yet we call it machal Shabbos. So therefore, taking the blood out separately, this is an important point we're going to need for later. Rabbeinu Tam here is saying that it's the same Rabbeinu Tam, that removing the blood from where it is a melacha shein tzricha lagufa. It's not the actual malacha. Venira le Rabbeinu Tam the faresh. So now we need a new definition of what the hoitzi dam chashiv netilas neshama. Why is hoitzi dam called netilas neshama? Ki hadam hu a nefesh. Because the dam is the nefesh, and therefore netilas neshama is killing the person. This idea of netilas neshama, that's what you're chayav for. Because noitel mikzato noitel mikzat neshama. So the idea of shchita is that you're taking some of his nefesh away, netilas neshama. So therefore, when you're taking out some of it, you're taking some of the neshama. So therefore, by mila and by the woman, once you take out the blood, so therefore you're taking out some of her neshama and you're chayav deraisa. L'kasha deli l'ri to amri b'per klal gadol. Gabe hatzad chalazon v'hopotzeo. So you trap a chalazon there, you're chayav on the malacha of tzida, and also you punch it or you make a wound in it, and you're chayav for potzeya. But the chayav nami mishum netilas neshama, says the Gemara, and we answer mitasek hu etzel netilas neshama. Now here mitasek is she'ein miskaven. We're going to get into mitasek later on the daf and later in Tosfos, but here mitasek is the lashon of the Gemara. It just means einu miskaven. So you have no kavana etzel netilas neshama. The kolkama to isbei neshama to fei nichale, because all the more that it lives, the better he is. That's what the Gemara says, and this is the kasha of the Ri. But lefizeh, afilu hu chai gomer, even if he's completely alive, he's not going to die. Hare yesh gan netilas neshama. So once it comes out, so therefore it's netilas neshama. So therefore, how does this Gemara fit into Rabbeinu Tam b'chol? The kolkama to isbei neshama to fei nichale, but it doesn't matter. Once you're taking out the blood, there's yesh gan netilas neshama and chayev. For Omer Rabbeinu Tam ki dam chalazon shetzoveyim bo hu mifka pocket. So the blood of the chalazon that you want out, that you're taking out, that is mipchod pocket, and therefore it's not part of the bloodstream of the animal, and therefore that's not called netilas neshama. It's just blood in a pocket. You're not taking it, and netilas neshama. It's not a chabura. So the neshama doesn't live there. It's a like a pikaton in the body where the neshama doesn't live, and the neshama is like coming from the oxygen in the heart. The heart's pumping out, and that doesn't go into this pocket place. On that blood, you're not chayiv for netilas neshama. The Ashar Hadam Shemuchubur Chashiv Le Metasek, and the rest of the dam that is Mechubur, so there that's called Metasek, which is the Eina Miskaven. So you don't have kavana for the blood that's not the Chalazon blood. That's not the blood for the Techilas. You have no kavana for that, and therefore that's called the East Bay Neshama Tefei Nichale. Whatever stays in, you're not looking for it, so you have no kavana for it. So therefore it's Eina Miskaven. But the Rebbeinu Tam here is saying that the whole malacha of chabura is netilas neshama. Now we're going to have a quick look at the second Tosfos and see the stira between Rebbeinu Tam. So ledam hu tzarich v'shari. So we've seen the beginning of this Tosfos a few times. V'im tema v'hapesik reisha hu le'inyan haPesach. So how is it mutter? Just because you want the blood, why is it mutter? It's pesik reisha, and then you're going to make the Pesach, and to say that you're able to take out the blood to see if she's a basula or not. But lo asiyas the Pesach, without making the Pesach. Now, Perish Rebbeinu Tam, this is where we're going to get the two. We've seen it elsewhere. The Tosfos is going to give us two reasons why do I want the blood. Rebbeinu Tam says, that Rebbeinu Tam says that you want to take the blood out so that you don't have, next time, you won't get dirty next time. So that you're kind of in a state, or you're in a, you ruin the sheets on the first day. You don't want to ruin the sheets on the second day. You might get special sheets to ruin, but you don't want to keep ruining the sheets all the time. So next time you don't want to be dirty. So you want the blood out. So therefore, that is the ledom hutzarich. You need the blood. The pirsho, and according to his explanation, the command to Gemara later on in the Gemara when we say dam chabura mechbor. So here we're saying dam hu tzarich v'shari. However, later on we're saying that it's a dam that is a chabura. This is in the second lashon. Ila dam hu tzarich v'aser. Afal gav da havim melacha shein shricha legufa. So if he needs the dam and it's aser, even though it's melacha shein shricha legufa, the shari b'makom tsar. So we say that we mutter it in the place of pain. So when you're in pain, it's mutter gabe morsa. So why is it aser? The aser. Why is it aser? It's a melacha shein shricha legufa, and it's shari b'makom tsar, as we see by a morsa. So the morsa is like you squeeze a pimple or you squeeze a boil, which again comes later in the Gemara. Haka gave mitzvah aser. So when it's pain, it's mutter, but when it's mitzvah, it's aser. So the pain is a mokum lahatir greater than a mitzvah, and here would be the mitzvah of the bia. So later on, we're going to see how all this fits into this idea of the morsa, of breaking the pimple. So Ramri explains that for the blood what does he need the blood? So really he's just saying that you need the blood in order to be a basula.